putting you on stage.
Great. Yeah, look, I said what I said, which is that we do have, of course, a special relationship with our friends in the UK and also with some of our European allies. That is something that we'll talk about today at lunch.
We've had free speech for a very, very long time in the United Kingdom, and it will last for a very, very long time.
Right then, welcome back to Alert View. Every now and then in politics, a moment occurs that tears up the rulebook, an event so unexpected it forces everyone to stop and reassess everything they thought they knew. And Lila, I think we witnessed one such moment this week.
We certainly did, Adam. What we saw was the unwritten rules of diplomacy not just being bent, but utterly shattered, live on television for the entire world to see. An American senator appearing on a British broadcast did the unthinkable. He bypassed all diplomatic channels to deliver a direct, stark warning to Britain's prime minister.
And the result was a political firestorm. The prime minister looked, for all to see, completely and utterly rattled. This wasn't a simple policy disagreement. It was a calculated move, a political missile launched across the Atlantic. The senator's tone wasn't angry, it was calm, measured, which made the warning all the more chilling. He was delivering a direct rebuke about a fundamental failure of leadership on the global stage.
And in the silence that followed, all eyes turned to the prime minister. His reaction is what will likely be studied for years to come. The immediate narrative that took hold within minutes was one of weakness. The cameras, as we know, are unforgiving. They captured every subtle tell, the tightening of the jaw, the restless hands, the darting eyes that betrayed a mind scrambling for a response.
Exactly. To many, those weren't the signs of a statesman considering his words, but of a man feeling the walls closing in. A leader of a major world power should be able to handle pressure. Full stop.
But a second school of thought has emerged, and we have to consider it. Was it truly weakness, or was the prime minister the victim of a deliberate political ambush? Diplomatic protocol exists precisely to prevent these kinds of raw, unscripted confrontations. One could argue the senator's move was a cynical piece of political theater designed specifically to provoke a reaction. In that context, was the hesitation weakness, or was it a man attempting to maintain a shred of dignity in the face of an unprecedented public provocation?
I'm sorry, Lila, but I don't buy that. The job is to lead, and leading means facing down challenges, expected or not. This is the danger of modern 24/7 live television. There's no safety net. His flicker of uncertainty was magnified, clipped, and shared across social media within seconds. The narrative is now completely out of his control. The story is no longer about the senator's warning, but about the British leader's perceived inability to handle it.
And as if the situation wasn't extraordinary enough, that bizarre twist unfolded. The news of the official invitation from the palace to the American president. The timing was just surreal. It created this split-screen effect. On one side, raw, aggressive politics in a TV studio. On the other, the ancient gilded machinery of royal diplomacy carrying on.
That juxtaposition only served to make the prime minister look smaller. It made him seem like a man caught between the chaotic present and the ceremonial traditions of the past, mastering neither. Instead of offering a lifeline, the announcement from the crown simply highlighted how out of his depth he appeared, a leader being overtaken by events rather than shaping them.
Which brings us to the lasting damage. It may not come from the warning itself, but from the hesitation in the response. A seed of doubt has been planted, not just in the minds of the public, but potentially in the minds of allies and adversaries around the world, who witnessed the very same thing we did.
Absolutely. The story ceased to be about an American's audacity and became entirely about a British leader's authority. And that leads to the ultimate question for our viewers.
We want to know what you think. After watching the confrontation, do you believe the Prime Minister's reaction revealed a fundamental weakness in his leadership? Or do you see him as the victim of a deliberate political ambush where any leader would have struggled?
Let us know your verdict in the comments below. And if you believe in holding power to account and appreciate this kind of in-depth analysis, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe to Alert View. We'll be here to break down all the fallout. Cheers.